안녕하세요. You're listening to 4 from On One podcast.
Welcome back to 4 from On One podcast. We are starting our travel guide series. We are a group of people that love to travel, and we're going to start with one of my favorite cities. How are you, Hokjun?
Hey, Kate. I'm doing great. How are you?
It's just the two of us today, but both of our favorite cities that we've been to is New York City.
hmm
Yeah. When did you go to New
Yeah.
York City?
Back in 2019,
Yep.
and I met my good friend Sodam at there, and we had a very, very, very good time. And I love New York City.
It would challenge to be one of the most famous cities in the world, wouldn't it? Like, would be up there with Paris, New York. I think they're the
Yeah,
top two. Yeah. I went
yeah.
there. I went there backpacking in 2008, and then also I worked on cruise ships, so we got to go to New York a few times. But I love it. I love
Ooh.
it. It would probably be a place I'd
Wow.
love to spend like 3 months living, see the
Oh
seasons.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's start off with some facts. Some people don't know, like New York. Everyone thinks about just
Facts.
New York City, but there's New York State. Do you know how many people live in New
hmm
York State?
New York State. Probably more than 10 million.
20 million, 20 million. But today we're going to
Wow.
focus on New York City. Do you know what the population of New York City is?
11 million.
Close.
Really?
Nearly 9 million.
Oh, 9 million.
Yep.
Okay.
And people started settling in New York City in 1624. There are
60.
five boroughs of New York: Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
Queens, Manhattan, which is the main one, the
Yeah.
Bronx, which is where the Yankees
Bronx.
are, and
Yeah.
Staten Island. Yeah.
Staten Island.
And
Yeah.
this one's an interesting one. In 2019, New York City had the third most amount of high-rise buildings. Can you name the other two?
Wow. That's unexpected. That's really unexpected.
Mm.
Uh, Probably Tokyo.
Close.
Oh, Jakarta. They have tall buildings there.
Well, this is 2019. Hong Kong number
Okay.
one, and
Oh, okay.
your city Seoul number two.
Really?
Yeah.
Seoul?
Yeah,
Oh, couldn't believe, can't believe it. Seoul, really? We have tall buildings?
I suppose so.
All
I don't,
right.
I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
rates as a toll building, but yeah.
Mm,
January is the coldest month in New York City. Average
yeah.
temperature in January is zero point 0.9 degrees or
Point nine.
33.7 Fahrenheit. So it's not below zero, which is interesting.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in July is the hottest time. The average
Mm.
temperature is 25.3 degrees, which I thought would be hotter than that.
It's not too bad
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah. And then the seasons. I love the seasons of New York. I've been
Oh
there in
yeah.
fall, so beautiful. They have the four seasons, as probably
Yeah.
seen on the movies. We'll talk about movies at the end, just as
hmm
interest. And that's it. How did you get to New York? When you went to New York, what was the travel options that you took, and how did you get in there?
So I traveled in New York to attend one of our university thing.
Mm,
I flew into Washington D.C. and then
mm,
I took the Amtrak, which is the train
mm-hmm,
between all the cities in America. And I think it took 3 hours of riding it,
mm-hmm.
and I met some good people. And then, America, it's a little bit of on the luck, but you can meet some good people, you can meet some bad people. So it's in the train. So yeah, it's very, very great atmosphere to mingle in with other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Hmm.
When I went there in 2008, it was a bunch of Aussies backpacking. We
All
went
right.
from Montreal to New York. That took about 10, 12 hours. I looked up some
Hmm.
other travel times from Boston. I love Boston too.
Oh.
It's about the same 4 hours by bus and train. And
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia is another close city, very historic city, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
By train, an hour and 20, and by bus, a bit over 2 hours. So there's some neighbor cities that you might travel from or travel to after your time in New York City.
Mm.
Um, I looked up some accommodation. Or
Right.
actually, I was going to say that two airports are in the Queens district, which is about an hour or so to downtown New York.
Oh yeah.
Is that
Mm.
what? Did you do JFK? No, you flew from Washington. I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's JFK
But I've
Airport and
yeah, Newark
yeah,
Airport. Yeah.
yeah. Good job. I was going to say,
Yeah.
all right. I looked up some accommodation. So I looked up for not this weekend, the following weekend, and
All right.
Saturday night. Bloody expensive for a basic dorm on a Saturday
Mm-hmm.
night. $84
$84 for
for
a
a dorm,
dorm.
and this is out in the not downtown. Obviously, this is a bit past Central Park, which we'll talk about soon.
Oh, really?
So you're still just
All
getting
right.
towards the Bronx area. It's
Mm.
still $84 on a weekday. It was between $48 to $70 a night in a
Wow.
dorm. It's not cheap.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's not cheap. It's not cheap at all.
and then a hotel downtown.
Mm-hmm.
About $300 on a Saturday night, the minimum. $300 for a hotel.
300. That's expensive.
And some of these are sharing a bathroom too. On a
Oh,
weekday,
okay.
they drop the price to about $76 to $100. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap, especially
It's not
now.
cheap. No.
This is December. December is very popular for New York, I think.
Oh yeah, the winter time is
Yeah,
very kind of romantic, right?
yeah.
In New
Christmas
York, yeah,
time. They've just had
yeah.
Thanksgiving. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
very festive time to go to New York. Yeah, school
Yeah.
holidays maybe. Yeah, so at this time of the year, it's very expensive to go to New York. I think Christmas. I didn't look up. I should have looked up Christmas time, but it would be probably
No,
even
Christmas
more.
must be like $1,000 for the hotels, and dorm must be like go 500s.
Let's talk food. I love food. You
Oh
are the
yeah.
food expert. What food did you enjoy when you went to New York?
So I've been heard that like when you go to New York, there's three food you have to try. One is pizza, the other is steak, and the third one is hamburger.
Hamburger, really? Okay.
Yeah. And actually, I couldn't find like a good hamburger joint around my hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I was stayed in Chelsea Market area, which is kind of like lower Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
in between, like near to the Wall Street. And they have this great restaurant called Old Homestead Steakhouse. So I made a reservation at the Wolfgang Steakhouse, which is the famous steakhouse in the New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And then I canceled Wolfgang Steakhouse after I taste the steak from the Old Homestead Steakhouse. They have this one, 40-day dry aged prime rib, and it is not that really expensive because
No?
in the Wolfgang Steakhouse that costs you probably like $400, but that was 120, and you can feed up two people. The
60.
portion was huge, yeah,
Mm.
and it was the most juicy steak that I ever had in my lifetime. And like still, it's the best.
Yeah, that's good. It's
Yeah.
probably the drinks that get expensive. What drink did you get with it?
I got some Adams beer.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's probably where
So
they jack up the
and then
price.
I kind of surprised that after I come back to Korea, and there was a famous, the food guy, Baek Jong-won. So he was strolling down the New York City, and then he went into the same steakhouse, and then he told to everybody that this steakhouse is older than 150 years. One of the first steakhouse in the meatpacking area, which is the Chelsea Market around.
Mm.
And I was really. I took the very best steakhouse by luck.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
And you're saying it's costing about 120 for two people. So if you're a couple, $60 each.
True. Yeah, it's kind of budget, but still the steak is great.
Pre-inflation.
I actually looked it up
Yeah.
if they changed the price or not. They didn't. They
Okay.
didn't change the price. So the prime rib still $120.
Okay. All right. And then in that lower Manhattan section, I was going to do this for somewhere to visit, but to go on the
Mhm.
food theme, let's do a food. You got Chinatown and you got Little
Yeah.
Italy. Did you go there? Chinatown and Little Italy. They're sort of next to each
Yeah.
other in
Yeah, they're
lower.
next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
We
went
had,
there too. Yeah.
it's a good day.
Mm.
I'm going to say some other things you can do. Obviously, New York City is famous for the museums, some great art museums, stuff like this. Theater shows. Did you go to a theater show?
Nah,
Nice.
I was in budget, so I
Yeah.
couldn't make the famous Broadway musical. No.
Which one would you want to see? Lion King?
Actually, I really loved The Greatest Showman.
Me too. I like that. You like that?
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I like the soundtrack there.
Yeah, I like the music. Yeah.
And then I'll do some sports. We love sports. So New
Mm.
York's the best thing about New York is Madison Square Gardens right downtown on Manhattan. That's why it's so
Hmm.
popular and famous. They do the basketball and the ice hockey there. So if you're in
Yeah.
fall and winter, that's basketball, ice hockey season, early spring.
Hmm.
And then also the two NFL teams, they're not really in New York City. Their stadium's in New Jersey. So if you want to watch an NFL game, maybe the college teams, you should check out if
Hmm.
I didn't research the college teams. I'm sure there's some in New York area,
Yeah.
but the two NFL teams are in New Jersey. And the baseball team, our Yankees, well, not our Yankees. I don't like Yankees, but sorry, New York people.
Oh, wow.
Cut
It's the
that.
pinstripe. No, it's good. It's the pinstripe.
It's in the Bronx, so it's up the northern part of
Yeah.
Manhattan. So that's downtown pretty much. And the Mets
Hmm.
play in Queens. Queens is sort of where the airports are. So
Yeah.
that's some leisure activities you can enjoy. Uh, what about some things to do? What were some of your favorite things to do in New York?
The most actually, I really loved to that bike riding I did with my friend in Central Park. You
Mm,
there's near to the Central Park there is few bike rental shops, and then I think you can rent a bike for like $20 for whole day or like 12 hours.
mhm.
Central Park is huge. So if you want to look on every parts of Central Park, I really recommend you guys to get the bike and then ride around the park. I It took me like 3-4 hours
Mm,
to see everything.
mm,
So if you're trying to enjoy the weather, if you're trying to enjoy the scenery in the Central Park area, you gotta have bike. And
mm.
then on a west, like Midwest side of the Central Park, you will see the Central Park Cafe
Yeah,
from the Friends. Yeah,
but there's no
actually they have.
fountain. There's no fountain. We went looking for the fountain. The fountain doesn't exist. In the theme song where they're dancing in this theme song, that fountain is just a prop. So there's no. Yeah. So
Oh,
we went looking for it. We
yeah.
couldn't find it. This is pre
Oh,
Wi-Fi days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Free Wi-Fi days.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, yeah. I didn't thought of to find that fountain.
Doesn't exist anyway.
Mm.
Mm. When I did bike riding in Central Park, I did it too. Again, I recommend it.
Oh,
I think I told this story on our podcast that we're riding
yeah.
and some random guy rode past us and this squirrel ran inside the spokes of the bike and went boom, 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 boom.
Ooh, that
So,
was.
yeah. Unfortunately, the
Oh,
squirrel didn't survive, but yeah, it was very interesting to know. But
that's.
it was a good bike ride. It was so nice to see. You got the pond, you
Mm.
got the river. Oh no, pondy river pond. guess it's pond. Um,
I think they have both.
yeah,
One is like little pond, the other one is like huge
mhm,
kind of lake kind of thing.
lake. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you got people in winter do ice skating. I think do they do fishing with? I think that's people doing fishing maybe.
If you're a fan of the this is the movie one. If you're a fan of the Home Alone,
Yeah,
New York is the best, right? Home Alone 2 is actually shot on the in the New York City at the
yeah.
Central Park nearabouts.
Mm,
And on the lower east side entrance of Central Park, you will see the Plaza Hotel
mhm.
that the former president Trump
Yeah.
owned.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and yeah, and then near around there, there's like hundreds of hot dog carts there,
Mm.
so you can get good hot dogs and some of those like ridiculously giant pretzel.
Ah, I forgot to
Yeah.
ask, what was your favorite pizza in New York? What type of pizza do you like? A cheese pizza? What do you like on your pizza?
So I went this one of the locals recommended
Yeah,
is a pizza place called Grimaldi Pizza.
yeah.
It's Italian, and it's not actually in the Manhattan area. It's on the Dumbo. You know where the Dumbo is? Is the like some people posting on their pictures that like two uh, red brick buildings in between, and then the Brooklyn Bridge is passing through that building.
Mm.
Like that place is called Dumbo, and it is one of the like iconic one. So you gotta go there, and then while you're going there, you have to try the Grimaldi pizza. It is the best. It's a perfetto. Yeah.
And the good thing about you can do a pizza pub crawl, or if not pizza crawl, because
Yeah.
if you don't know, in New York they serve by the slice. Usually you buy a slice, so you can have one
Hmm.
slice if you like it. You probably can have another one, or you go to the next pizza joint, try their pizza. So yeah, it's a good way to check out all the pizzas just by buying the slice. Yeah, slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'll talk about some of the towers you can go up to. Obviously, the most famous one is the Statue of Liberty. Not the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State
Empire
Building,
State Building. Yeah.
which is the one where King Kong goes up and causes trouble.
Yeah.
Um, so that one's $77 to go up there to go to the viewpoint up that one. I think it's also famous for um, Sleepless in Seattle. Is that the movie where they go
Oh
up
yeah,
there?
yeah. I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But when I went there, I this is my tip to anyone that wants it. Don't do that one. Go to Rockefeller viewpoint.
Center. Yeah.
It's cheaper, and then you get the view of the Empire State in your photos. So the Empire State Building
Mm.
is the most famous one. So if you
That's
go up the
true. That's true.
Rockefeller, you can get the Empire State into your photos and get the proper New York City skyline because you need the Empire
Oh,
State
that's great.
into your photo. Yeah, and it's cheaper.
Right.
I looked up; it's only $34 to $40, about half the price of Empire State.
Right.
And the other one was Statue of Liberty, and I've got a tip with this one too. Statue of Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
very famous. You can get the ferry and do these tours, and they're about $30, $31, which is not too bad
Mm-hmm.
actually. I thought it'd be more than that. But I got a little tip. We talked about Staten Island before. I don't
Yeah.
remember it being free, but you can catch the ferry. If you don't want to go on the island with the Statue of Liberty, you can catch the ferry that goes straight past the Statue of Liberty for free.
Oh,
Free.
really? For
Yeah, I don't
free?
I don't remember it being free, but now I just Googled it tonight. It's free.
Yeah.
So you can catch the
Oh,
ferry over. If you don't want to hang out in Staten Island, just catch the ferry back. It goes directly past the Statue of Liberty. So you can get a
wow.
photo. Yeah.
Wow, that's very great tip. And I think I really want to add up with your tips.
Yeah.
This is the other budget hack kind of thing for the New York skyscrapers is
Yeah.
that you can go to the rooftop bars
Yep.
and then you can have your drink, and then you can see the skyscrapers.
Yeah.
I have my photo, and then I'm gonna share you later.
Mm.
I have this drink, and then behind of me there was an Empire State Building right there.
Wow. So you send me that
Yeah.
photo. I'll put it onto the YouTube. If you watch our
All
YouTube,
right.
I'm going to try to do a lot of photos and maps on the YouTube. So if you're watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, try to check out our YouTube
Mhm.
too. Um,
Yeah. Sure.
and the other little famous building you're probably going to check out is the Grand Central Station. It's quite
Hmm.
popular in movies. It's a good
Yeah.
place to just chill out, especially in winter time, just explore. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's sort of a good breakaway. And then Times Square. Times Square. Have we talked?
Times Square. Yeah.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it is amazing. Like you can see like all the people, all the race in one place, and then everybody is just doing their own businesses. And then I felt quite safe
Mm,
because there was like thousands of police officers who doing their duties there, and then some of them are like tourist police too.
mm,
So if you look at them on the arm or their patches, they say the tourist police, and then they will show you which places like recommending from
mm.
the locals, and then which areas you don't want to go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I was going to say, if you're going to go and eat or drink anywhere near Times Square, you're going to be paying tourist prices. Yeah, like the
Mm.
Applebee's or the Bubba Gump restaurant or the all
Yeah.
these sort of places. So what I did is try to get a little bit in the back streets and find these little bars. I remember we went to a little Irish pub and it's still expensive, but not as bad. But
Mm.
and you also got the M&M
Oh yeah, I mean
shop.
the
Yeah,
center kind of thing,
yeah.
a huge one. Yeah.
Hershey's theme shop. Um,
Hmm.
and then also the famous toy shop. There's a famous toy shop downtown. I don't know if it's the one in Home Alone or I think this yeah, there's a famous toy shop as well. So it's all that stuff that you can do with the kids if you go
Mm.
to downtown. Obviously, if you go to the restaurants or bars, you're paying premium prices. That's good fun. It's good vibe.
Premium price.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and another place to recommend is that there's a place called High Line near to the meatpacking area.
Yeah.
Because I was stayed in like really cheap hotel near to the Chelsea Market, so I get to see a lot of things around there. There's one place called Fat Witch Bakery. They have
Mm,
great brownies. And also, you can go up to the Highline Park, which is made like Seoul. Kid, do you remember when we strolled down to the Seoul station, and then
mm,
it was like bridge kind of
mm,
park?
mm.
They have the same thing, and it's longer and it is more greener.
Yeah.
So in the meatpacking area, it is linked. It used to be linked with the trains,
Yeah.
so that they can import and export their
Mm,
meat product, and they changed that into the park, and you can see the city on like 5 or 6 story building height, and then you can see like great views of the Manhattan area.
mm.
This is must go place.
And then the other one, I didn't know whether to mention. Obviously, there's the Ground Zero for September 11.
Oh yeah.
When I went, I didn't really want to go there because I don't feel like I didn't take any photos because I find it weird taking photo of an event where so many
Yeah,
people
that's
died.
true.
So
I know.
there is a museum there, and I assume some of the money goes to charity and all that sort of stuff, and
Mhm.
firefighters and stuff like that. So I'd support that if I went there. But for me, that's not a place I'd want to.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
I don't think it's kind of like touristy place, but if you want to pay respect for
Yeah.
those people, then I kind of recommend you guys to go there. And then also, it is in the financial the famous Wall Street area.
Yeah.
So you can see the bull made out
Yeah.
of the bronze, and
Yeah.
then the ball thing, right?
Yeah.
And also, what is really interesting thing is that they have a lighthouse nearby. It
Mm,
is also dedicated for the big incident, the Titanic.
Oh, really?
So they have memorial for Titanic, and it is the lighthouse.
Ah. And then some famous festivals. Obviously, you got Thanksgiving parade. I think they're still doing it, or did they cancel it? Thanksgiving, New Year's
I
Eve,
don't know.
Christmas. That's
Yeah.
the. I can't think of any others. Maybe we need some Americans to help us with those ones.
Oh, sure. They have this New York City Marathon.
Oh,
I think they're happening on the Septembers, I think.
mm,
I went there in September and the weather was super great.
mm,
So like if you're like not a like proper runner, but you can add your name and then you can get the certificate also. So it is very good souvenir for rest of your life and to your grandchildrens if you guys going to have them.
mm,
and and I really recommend to walk a lot in New York cities because they have a lot of like historic places. And then in the in like little alley to little alley, you will see some surprising things and really nice cafes or like very cute place that what do you call like secondhand thing?
mm.
What do you call thrift house?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they have those too. So it is very interesting to stroll down anywhere in New York City.
Mm.
And the other must you have to do thing is that you have to walk the Brooklyn Bridge. It
You did
you
that?
gotta do it. You gotta do it. I actually brought my Bluetooth speaker
Yeah.
and then put the Empire State of Mind. New York. And people were singing together with me, and then they were like tapping my back, and then yeah, that's it. And there are a few like street vendors that selling the souvenirs.
Mm.
And then wait a second, I got this from there. You can get some souvenirs, something like this.
Yeah.
You know, the magnet. Yeah. So I really recommend everybody to, walk down the Brooklyn Bridge and then have the Grimaldi pizza and watch the sunset on the
Mm.
Hudson River.
That's a good one.
That's really great. Mm.
Oh yeah, just on the walking one, I remember when we went, there was about us and about five Aussies. We went to New York after Montreal, and we got off the bus from Montreal somewhere downtown New York, and we had to walk like 20 blocks or 30 blocks with all our luggage.
Hmm.
And these firefighters, they just pulled over and were like, what? They let us go in the fire truck and drove us to the hostel. It was so nice
Oh,
of them.
really?
Yeah. So we lugged,
Wow.
I got
Hop
photos.
in and then
Yeah,
wow.
that's so nice of them to give us a ride in the fire station. I think they must have just seen us walking forever. And they're like, this is where
Yeah.
we got to go on the map. And they're like, oh, that's so far away. And they let us go on the fire truck and go all the
Our
way.
engine and then wow. That was actually really great gesture.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, people have this feeling that like New Yorkers are like that they're stuck up and then like their nose is like this high much. But actually this is one of the I don't know, cozy city that I've ever been.
Mm,
Like people are kind of friendly, but they have like their own certain mind.
mm,
But they're willing to help you out, you
mm.
know,
Yeah.
if you just yeah be humble and then touristy mode and yeah.
We sort of talked movies, but I was going to finish. What's your favorite New York movie or theme movie?
My favorite New York movie. Hmm.
Why are you thinking? I'm going to say Godzilla, like the
Yes.
1990 Godzilla. You know,
Smashing everything and then
yeah, and then they
yeah.
got the eggs in the Madison Square Garden, and and then obviously you
Yeah.
mentioned Home Alone 2. I like that one too,
Yeah.
of course.
Hmm.
Have you got
That was good.
any other New York
Yeah.
movies?
Uh, I gotta say it's the Wolf of the Wall Street,
Ah, nice.
the DiCaprio one. Yeah, that was. I think that's my best New York theme movie.
Yeah. Alrighty,
Mm.
buddy. I think we nailed it. I hope everyone enjoyed this travel guide. We'll put a bit of information on the screen. If you're watching on the podcast, try to check out the YouTube. Um, just we're not experts on New York. We just want to inspire you to go and check it out. It's one of my favorite cities. I'd love to live there for 6 months, 3 months to 6 months.
Yeah.
But well done, buddy.
All right.
Good travel guide.
I want to put this on in addition that yeah I only thought about the movies, but I really love Friends and How I Met Your Mother. Those are very, very great New York theme contents that you guys can watch.
And I also have you seen the show $1 Million Listing, New York, where this real estate agents are selling the $1 million properties.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I like this one.
yeah. That's very that's very fun. What should I say? Reality show. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed our podcast. We tried not to do small talk, but we finished with a bit of small talk, but it was good fun. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed our New York travel guide. We've got more to come. Some very famous cities are coming up very soon. If you want to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, we've got a link tree. Gio's been doing some merchandise for us. So check out on all our favorite socials. We're there. All right, Hokchan, I'll see you next week.
Okay, kid.
See you in New York.